But yeah, they're gonna get the Phoenix here on the side of SG. They have 2 melee cores, and obviously the heal on Terrorblade, he builds tanky, so it's always gonna be very important.
I mean, sell me on the mid Sand King here. Somebody somewhere sell me on this, because
I
I'm
don't think it's
firmly
gonna
in the
be
camp that it's garbage.
Nah, I
I
don't
think
want to sell
Miracle
it.
can make it look good, honestly, in my opinion. He is the one person I saw that like made us all like, oh my god, Miracle! Like, but that's Miracle. It's been interesting to see a lot of these other mid players like, huh, that looks pretty interesting. I bet I could do that, and then no, they can't.
Well, it's like some position venge kind of thing, where it's like, it does look really good in the perfect game where you don't overcommit or make any mistakes, but it's almost impossible to do that in the current South American meta. Like, I think every time we've seen the Sand King mid, it hits this brick wall and you go, yeah, that team's got 3 supports against the team that's got 3 cores. This late game's pretty easy for the team with 3 cores.
Yeah, and I feel like, with those weird Venge picks and mid-tankings, I think there's a lot, like, there's this underlying idea that maybe some players don't really see, because it's like something that they practice through, 10 screams or something. And you're like, oh, okay, this hero does that, so I'm gonna pick it to do that, but it's not, there's more to it than you would say by just watching the game.
I mean,
So
I
you
would
think
assume
it's off lane though with a mid lash, and then they're gonna pick a 1?
Yeah,
I don't think you put like, unless you're Whisper and unless you have a very specific draft, I don't think you're putting that Leshrac in the off lane. I'd be very surprised if they did that.
How come? What's so weird about off lane Lesh?
Because it just doesn't do as much. Like, you want a fast level 6, you want to get that experience, so you want to be able to, also like push down the middle tower. Like, that's super important.
Yeah, the problem I see with Lash offlane this game is that you have this Lion that wants, like, you don't want to play ABA 4. That's for sure. So I think having Lash offlane with Lion is kind of weird. So I agree with Moxxi in that regard. But, maybe the last pick is going to blow us away.
Well, is Lion Sand King really your go-to off-lane combo as well? That seems similarly like, it's double stun, but is that a combo that we've really seen too much?
It's good. Like, your Sand King is the bulky offlane, so he soaks some damage. Lion can come in, get a stun into Sandstorm. I think it works, and it's really good versus Terrorblade, because a lot of his damage early on comes from illusions, but they actually last like a second in the Sandstorm. So I think you really want that matchup. Yeah.
No, all right. Yeah, now you're starting to sell me here. I forgot about how good Sandstorm is against the illusions.
I like.
Although Terrorblade can just run into the jungle too.
For SG, I think right now they have no solutions for dealing with the egg, so it's going to be very easy for them to be able to put that pressure down.
True.
And hard to mix a good one in now as well. Like, they need a position 1.
Open,
so,
but Ursa versus Terrorblade is so bad.
I guess Jug. That's maybe your.
It's like the only thing that I can think about at the top of my head, because you don't have anything that's going to be a steroid either. And you do have the tower push in the position of, Leshrac's going to be able to hit towers, Abaddon also, Curse of Avernus helps to push that down, but.
And back for Mars. So,
but this is such a good draft from SG. This is actually beautiful. You have the Mars and DK flexing. You have Phoenix with 3 melee heroes, strength heroes, and
great
BINOMISTAS,
team fight as well.
You don't want to pick Jug because you have Clock, right? So really hard to split push against that.
And somehow you still end up with Mars Phoenix combo as your last 2 picks. That's a pretty wild thing to pull out of a draft. That doesn't happen too often.
Wow, I'm impressed here. This is a really good draft.
Oh boy!
All right, big hero against Terrorblade, right? Kind of classic
that's
there.
You
get
one.
the meta.
I don't remember seeing Benny play this hero, so that's kind of the flair I was talking about. I think it's really good versus Mars because you don't care about arena. It does work okay versus Phoenix, and you can become Terrorblade, I guess.
But does it make you say, "Wow, Bowie"?
I mean, I think it's probably I didn't thought of it, so I think it's probably the best one that they could have went for. I think it's good, but SG's draft looks so great that I kind of have to go with them. I don't know.
Dude, you're missing the whole thing, is that it is a mini Sand King. It's a 40R Mars with an off-lane Dragon Knight. Like, I'm on board with SG. Sign me up. Let's go. All right, SG, they got this right now. I'm not sold on the draft.
1 minute to prove me wrong. All right, so you can clip this.
I wanted
later.
that all
Mini can
season,
beat.
Bowie. I wanted that all season. Minnie, show me that this Sand King is actually worth picking, and I don't think we really saw it. It might have won a couple times in these really stompy games where you could have picked anything, but when it was really challenged, it fell flat every time that I can remember. So if this is the game, I'm ready to be wowed as well, buddy. Sign me up for a surprise Sand King standout performance, but label me cynical here. I think it's going to be hard. Now, on the Benny Morphling, he's not played it in an official in over a month, but it is, I think, his 6th or 7th most played hero.
Yeah,
according
I guess
to
he didn't play on
so
BPC, but maybe in other tournaments. Yeah.
Yeah. So this could be okay for BINOMISTAS in terms of the carry matchup. It is nice against Terrorblade, but I guess we're going to cast or curse SG here, gang. We're all going to be in favor of the favorites. The team fight's just too good to pass up. I don't know how you can go against a team with such good initiation as well. They have so many different ways to initiate these fights.
They do have that Shrek you were, hyping a lot, so we'll see. We'll see. I do agree though. I think as just
Costabile Terrorblade.
Yep.
Costabile Terrorblade. This man 1v5'd an entire team. Granted, Terrorblade a lot stronger at the time, but like, dude.
That's true.
Granted, he was the meta back then, but you're right. It is super comfort pick for him. If there's a hero that he's going to shine with, it's absolutely going to be the Terrorblade. But now time for me to back away. The game has begun. Moxxi, Bowie, it's all yours.
Thank you.
Right. Yeah.
Okay.
This draft from SG, honestly, we are probably cursing them to high heaven right now, but they look so good. They're on very comfortable heroes. Again, Costabile Terrorblade, like that alone sold me right there. But following it up.
And I think with Morphling, he's such a lane dependent hero. So we'll see how SG plays this. I think Benny he's gonna have to play his best to make this work. Whereas Terrorblade, you can lose your laning stage, you can die twice, but you just jungle and you're Terrorblade. I think Morphling is a more timely based hero. But we're talking about a lot about serious stuff here. I want to ask you, Moxxi, what is your out of the 10 heroes in this game? What's your favorite taunt out of all these heroes?
Ooh. Oh, that's a hard one. I like the disco ball on Shrek. I like his little disco goat thing he's got going on. But I like the Phoenix taunt. Oh, no, I lied. The best taunt in the entire game, in my opinion, Clockwork. I like his little robot, like, and like he does a little dance.
Oh, yeah. I was going to say that I think the egg and the disco ball are my favorite ones. But the Clockwork is hard. I think I'm going to go with the egg just because I just love Phoenix, actually, as a hero.
Oh, yeah, I'm a big Phoenix fan. I play a lot of that on stream. But the Clockwork one is just, there's something so cute about this little dude. He's like a little toaster, Decided that one day he wanted to be alive. He wanted to, mess with people and be a murderous crazy pants. Although he does walk right into that split earth, right into the earth spike here too. So he's going to be missing some HP, but has a lot of tangos.
Okay, so they actually did. We didn't talk about this, but they did give it to KJ. This is a rough lane for him. 2 range heroes. Not gonna be fun.
Oh, it is not.
Oh, the salve, KJ.
Man, my dreams of seeing him get a jetpack are slowly dwindling as I see him get bullied around in this game already.
Yeah. Like their draft on SG looks really good, but their lanes, there's definitely a couple, especially top, I think, can be pretty rough. So we'll see what happens here. Costabile has to be careful because this Clockwork will have to walk base, I think, very soon.
A regen on him.
Oh.
Plenty of that's gonna bully Jupiter over here a little bit.
And
they'll turn it back around over on KJ. So you know what? He's not going to be walking to base. He is going to be flying in the arms of the angels. And in the bottom lane, they're going for a fast dive over here on Tavo. Get a little bit careful here. And Nuaje is getting real bloodthirsty.
I mean, I think the clock depth was fine, but the fact that Costabile used the meta like that, I'm not a big fan of it. I think he's gonna be out of resources very soon.
Okay, I gotta ask in the mid lane, is this the lady invoker, or is this just a very gender neutral invoker?
I would say it's a gender-neutral invoker. Yes.
Okay.
I think this is supposed to be a Khaleesi-like invoker, so you could
Oh
say
my
it's
gosh.
female, but I like to interpret it as gender-neutral.
Okay, all right, that's fair. I'm digging it though. Also, especially when I think of it being the whole Khaleesi thing, because Minnie's obsessed. I think that's pretty funny. But for copyright reasons, we will say it's just a gender-neutral invoker. Very nice though. Man, I love these fan packs. I love being able to see the different arts coming out. Nuages here in the bottom lane though is ticking down. Lots of these flame spirits landing over him as they go for the Icarus. Just want to burn him down. Do manage to go and force out that aphotic shield though. So it's gonna have to salve on back up again. But has to be careful. Does not have a courier for another couple seconds as well as it got sniped earlier.
Mm-hmm. Looks like I mean, there's way too many Brazilians watching this game. I don't know what else to say. But I am back. I apologize.
Welcome back.
All right, so did I miss anything?
Really, just me talking about, fan bundles and how I like the art. And no one's died, so, haven't missed too much. Just, the usual stuff here.
Yes,
They're gonna
go in here.
put a little damage over onto Costabile, but does have himself, he's actually out of regen at this point. Just has that one little fairy fire, but does have himself a clockwork who's gonna feed him trees. That is some service right there, I tell you.
The butler clockwork.
Yeah, I would see that as a persona. Or like a little skin,
That would actually be a
I'd be
suit
down with that.
clockwork. Suited
Yeah,
clockwork?
yeah,
Okay.
fancy. Or like a 007 clockwork now. Super spy. I like it.
cool.
I could see it. Oh, Jupiter with the outplay over on that sentry ward.
Very nice.
This Sand King is not doing super hot though in this mid lane. I am going to mention that he's gonna go and just take the small camp off to the side. But 35-4 over on the Mars, and Jupiter not looking too great here. Does get taken out. Sadly, using that metamorphosis, will continue to farm up over here on the side.
Very nice. This time the metamorphosis actually gives them something in return. And I think that the real problem for the Sand King matchup here is that you can just take him out of the Sandstorm with Spear. It's so easy for Marius to actually cancel the Sandstorm. That's why that's another thing that I wanted to talk about in the draft, but I couldn't. It feels like SG has answers for pretty much everything, but top though looks like
KJ is just a little too far out of position. So with that double stun lane, BINOMISTAS will be able to collect themselves yet another kill. They're hampering
Catapult is
this,
up. This is kind of scary. No matter, Catapult is up. Oh boy,
he's got stick charges. He's got stick charges. He's fine. He's also got himself. Yeah, look at him tread swapping immediately, just like careful. Goes back.
But yeah, I still feel like they can pressure this unless for the RTPs he does have one ready. I think this could be great if BINOMISTAS can get this tower. Let's see what
I think if they dive, we'll see a rotational though. They do a scan. They can see Nuages is trying to go for that rune over in that bottom area. Does manage to go and snap it up, but again, 4 DRs here. The Olakor, they're gonna go. They'll drop that arena, pin him over to the side, and they should have enough damage to take down Nuages. So that'll be where the arena gets dropped, and they might actually try to take advantage of this over in the top lane here on BINOMISTAS, knowing that there is not going to be a Mars TPing in with an arena if they decide to go for it.
Yeah, they did kill the catapult, so I guess there's less incentive for BINOMISTAS to do it. But if they actually didn't kill it, I'm sure they will try and force this a little bit more. Super scary stuff. Bottom though, catapult's still alive, and they have level 6 on Tavo, so they're gonna do what BINOMISTAS cannot do right now.
There's a dragon tail over onto Nuages, get a little damage out. Try to harass Benny with some of these flame spirits at the very least, but having a little bit of difficulty pushing into this tower. Can still have that Cardi, but it's getting taken down very quickly, so they'll go and fort, get a couple more hits off. But eventually, they'll take down the Cardi.
Okay. Good effort by SG. They do force the glyph, so I mean, that's why I think that's really the problem with Dragonite. I think level 1 Elder Dragon form lasts way too long. Like, they use Glyph, but you're still, like, hitting because you're DK and you have infinite armor. I think if they nerf this after the qualifiers, maybe just make the duration a little bit, scale away with levels a little bit.
Definitely interested to see how they're going to balance. I know, like, Winter Wyvern. I'm surprised that we have not seen Wyvern really in these games, considering how strong that heal is with the Holy Locket and the talent. Very surprised
I expected
about
less pick Wyvern from SG last game, but they did go for the Oracle.
good.
Worked pretty well, but I agree. I was actually expecting to see it in the series. Maybe.
Well,
game
you know
3.
why they probably went for it is because of the Oracle, the W, right? And negating a lot of that magic damage, and they had a lot of magic, whereas if you had a Wyvern there, not going to work so hot, right? It's just going to go right through that cold embrace.
Yeah, they're probably drafting already knowing the Wyvern is a possibility for sure. Oh, just a lot of brawling here. It looks like, Benny and Tavo in this infinite fight where no one actually loses too much HP, so... I guess we could talk about the stacks here on the side of SG. They already have double stack on the Ancients.
Theo sitting at level 3. Okay. 4DR making rotation. Doesn't quite manage to land that spear, but no spear is necessary as they manage Nuages. Mini making his own rotation now here. Does have the epicenter available if he wants to use it. He also picked up those boots of travel, so with this rotation, they're just going to try to buy themselves more time on the tower. I'm waiting for 4DR to go for the spear, though. Look at this. They drop that sentry. They see Mini right around the corner. They cut down all the trees. There's going to be the Sunray coming out to keep 4DR alive. Can they burst down Mini fast enough, though, here? It's looking pretty darn good. So they'll take down Mini. They'll get themselves a tower.
So yeah, this is exactly my problem with mid-Senki. Like, yes, you get a lot of levels, and you can send Storm Towers and make it hard for them to take it down. But if you die, it's so much, I guess, like, there's so much risk involved. And I'm not sure, maybe Treant Protector could do the same thing, but risk much less, as a support. So that's really, it feels like you're forced into these situations where you just die as mid-Senki. And I couldn't see many players making it look convincing. We'll see how it develops. I don't want to jinx Mini or anything. But if he puts himself in those scenarios and they don't have a save, he's gonna, he's not gonna be setting himself up for success. If you know what I mean.
I do.
Sorry,
yes.
it's getting pretty late here.
Understood, friend.
Okay, so how's the Terrorblade doing here? Second in CS, already has Dragonlance, Morphling, doing pretty okay too. But slightly under leveled.
Mini is trying to poke away over at Tavo. Again, very tanky in terms of just having that armor. They've actually got quite an armored team when you think about it over on the side of SG with the Terrorblade, the DK. 4DR is chasing over here. He's looking. Mini sitting up over on the high ground. I wonder if they know how close they are to one another, but...
Looks like Sand King gonna just deep push here, just doing Sand King stuff. Well, I mean, this
I feel like a support Sand King could have done that too, though.
Yes, I totally agree. But I want to believe, I really want the Sand King to work, and not only because
believe.
Yeah. Yes. Wow, I actually didn't thought about that. That's
Mini, the Eternal Envy Light of South America here.
I mean, I want a game 3, first of all, but I also I want Mini to become a thing. So for that to work, you need the enemy arc, right? You have to look kind of bad at the beginning, yes, and then look good at the end. So let's see.
Let's see if he can make it happen. Tavo, though, he pops the dragon form. He's coming right around here, just focusing on the tower. We'll turn his attention over to Nuages. It does have the level 6 though now, so not quite as easy to kill. Benny here trying to push them off, saying, go away, I need this tower. And they'll just respond in kind. But over here on the side, Jupiter has been just so annoying this entire time. Just poking away over at the Terrorblade.
Yeah, I feel a little bad for Benny, because he has to address these pushes, because the Leshrac, I guess he was finishing his mech, and he's not farming nearly as much as the Terrorblade because he has to. He's not doing carry stuff, right? He's doing offlane stuff, and while that happens, Mini is like farming camps. I guess he's gonna finish the blink now, so it might not be too much of a problem. But I feel like Benny is getting a little bit behind because of the things he's being forced to do. Even though the gold advantage is even, I think that the Terrorblade just does more with less gold.
Oh, for sure. But I also think like it's difficult when, you know, you're supposed to be the one that is kicking back, farming, and you have to respond to a lot of these pushes and whatnot. Like, that's not really the way that you want to be playing this hero. And it is a little bit of an issue with the draft that they've got going on over here on the side of BINOMISTAS.
But, let's see if Mini can do something with this blink here. Finally is up. Are they going to go for a smoke? Oh, man, he's so close to level 12. I kind of wish they waited just a little bit, but maybe it doesn't matter. They have a lot of damage with these two heroes.
The Leshrac, it works out, right? The fact that they can pump out so much damage. But look at the way that they're positioned over here. You can see the Phoenix sitting over on the top side, making sure that they'll pop any ganks. But they do find Tavo, like you said, taking a lot of damage here. KJ was trying to do something, but just manages to go and get the dust. So they'll find it, kill on the DK. Very sorely needed. And they're still chasing after Theolacor, but I think it's going to be difficult for them to get their hands on him because he does have the Icarus dive still available, and he is leading them right over to 4DR. They have to be careful. They're going to jump forward. The follow-up, the finger coming out. There's not going to be an egg available, but they'll be able to follow up with the Arena of Blood. But 4DR, he's taking so much damage coming out from Sexcat. KJ falling on the other side. 4 heroes over on the side of BINOMISTAS will force them back. Over on the side of SG, that's a nice burrow strike. The jump forward here, and that is going to be a dead 4DR as they burst him down. Turn their attention over to this mid tower.
All right, I'll eat my words. I didn't expect that much burst damage coming from the heroes of BINOMISTAS after committing some of their ults, but not only they had the sustain coming from the Abba, but they also had a lot of damage left in the tank. Very nicely done. And they take the mid tower. I mean, this is looking very much like game 1. BINOMISTAS, they kind of tied the lanes with SG, but they get the top and mid tier 1 tower earlier than SG, so this is great. If they can keep farming this Morphling, I would even say that the matchup, even though Terrorblade might have a slight edge over the Morphling, I think it's a better matchup than what they had in game 1 with Jara versus Medusa. So that Benny can definitely solo carry this game.
He's doing his best right now. He's getting closer and closer to the top of the net worth, right? But still a ways to go, as Costabile has been allowed to just basically do what he likes.
Yep.
Working on the BKB next. He's also found himself that Morbid Mask, which always feels so good when you are the position 1. And another smoke coming out from BINOMISTAS. They're hoping that perhaps they can find Terrorblade in this jungle and try to have something happen. Epicenter is going to be off cooldown in about 6 seconds. They've got a double damage rune over here. Are they going to fight? Yeah, they find themselves 4DR. The jump forward immediately. Go and land that split earth, followed up with the earth spike. Everything getting used on poor Mars as he evaporates.
Okay. I mean, this is really cool, but this is 2 smokes that BINOMISTAS used, and I don't think there's really an objective for them to take right now. So while it's nice to kill the enemy mid, those smokes might be detrimental later if they can't really do anything with this.
KJ?
Oh.
This wanders right into the palm of their hands.
Huh. Okay.
Well, that feels a little more worth it now.
For sure. In a way, the BINOMISTAS draft is very similar to game 1. They are Radiant, and they have a carry that can roach really easily. So that's really what they want to do. They want to take the Meteor 1 tower, get top, use those smokes, and eventually just collapse into roach after they take a convincing fight. We'll see. I mean, they're controlling the big jungle really well, so if they can keep this up, they'll definitely be able to give ages to Benny's Morphling.
Looks like BINOMISTAS are sweeping through their own jungle, making sure that no one's left behind. They do have, of course, some wards placed down, trying to keep tabs on any rotations and any items coming out. Mini is hungry. He's hunting. Needs to be careful, though, with his positioning right now. Channeling up the epicenter. He's thinking about it. He's just doing a little dance, you know, as one does. Just a loud sound of like a garbage can like slapping against a. It sounds like a garbage can lid, right? It's like the old metal ones.
I agree. We don't have metal garbage cans in Brazil, but I do have the visual imagery in my head. But you know, new kids, this youngsters,
they
Zoomers.
have
it so easy. You know, if I pressed Epicenter by mistake on my Sand King, it was a 90-second cooldown. All right, and my team would flame me. They would ping me. Now you can just do your little dance, like those Fortnite players.
Oh dear. Nuages gets caught out. Will immediately go and have that ultimate proc, but the chase is on. They should be able to get themselves a kill over here on the support. So. Can they get anything else, though? I guess is the question. Sexy Pat getting into position here with Mini. Has the Blink Dagger, has the Burrow Strike, and of course that Epicenter. Should they decide to go in, but they'll take down the Vision, so they might be a little bit more hesitant, and they'll turn their attention now over to this mid tower as the fortification has been popped, but with the power of a Metamorphosis and a Dragon Knight here, they should be able to take this. The positioning from Mini.
I'm a little scared for BINOMISTAS. I feel like if they force this tier too much, they might be able
teleport
to
top. DR was trying to get the bump over here onto Benny. Sexy Fat trapped in the middle of everything. We'll get trapped in cogs. We've got a lot of circles going on over here. And they're looking to see if they can grab Jupiter. Nice hook shot coming in from KJ. That is a very dead lion. But he managed to get his core out, so I think at the end of the day, they're pretty happy with that.
Yeah, and this is exactly what I meant by BINOMISTAS being overly aggressive. They lose their support 5, and they're like, oh no, they're gonna get a mid-tier 1 tower. We want something in return for that, but they are clearly not in position to take tier 2. So that's the kind of thing, you know, they could have just sit back, farm, use another smoke, knowing that Metamorphosis is on cooldown, but they go for the suboptimal trade when meta is up. And I think this is gonna cost them a lot right now, because the slight advantage that they had is dwindling away, and the Terrorblade actually has a BKB right now. This is really scary.
Seeing some nice item timings coming out from the side of SG. And this is the other issue, too, with having, you know, a mid Sand King, is the fact that he is magic-based.
Yeah.
And once those BKBs come out, all of a sudden, you're not feeling too great.
DK are also going towards that BKB. Had to stop for a Blink Dagger. It was going to take a little bit more. I mean, this is so rough, because I guess the play that BINOMISTAS has is somehow trying to sneak Roche, because meta is on cooldown, but there's a clockwork, right? So you're getting vision of that Roshan pit constantly. I don't think BINOMISTAS feels very comfortable just going in. So they're gonna, you know, keep trying to go for the same play, control big jungle, try and get a good fight, but they're gonna be harder to get now that 2 BKBs are up on side of SG.
For sure.
Let's see if they can get this tower.
I think at this point they're just not going to challenge it.
Yeah.
Over on the side of SG, it's already clicked down pretty hard. So they're just maybe going to mirror. Kasabile, knowing that this jungle is completely safe for him with, you know, most of the heroes playing top, is just going to take advantage of that space.
Oh,
like we're having an FPS issue
Way
here.
too many sprays. I actually was having a similar problem. Like my Dota is having some FPS issues. I'm not sure if it's the new update or what. Is your FPS okay?
Fine.
Oh.
But I know in the past, like I've had issues, like I said, if you spam too many emotes in chat, I drop FPS terribly. And I'm like, oh god, this is unplayable. Why? Pay to lose. I guess pay to win, I guess, if you're able to play with that kind of FPS drop. But
exactly.
And everybody else can't. But yeah, you know, a 1k net worth lead going over to the side of BINOMISTAS, but you have to feel a little nervous with the way Terrorblade is farming. But everyone else fairly neck and neck here, right? You've got the Morphling sitting at, so it's 11.4 over on Terrorblade, 11 just basically straight cake over on the Morphling, 9.8 on Mars, 9 over on the Leshreck. So,
yeah.
You know, it's still really anyone's game, but the BKBs is what's worrying me for BINOMISTAS, is that, you know, if they get the jump, if they manage to chain stun, it's not going to be a huge deal. But if SG, you know, brings the fight to them, that's when it gets a little scary.
I totally agree. That's why I was a little bit hesitant about the way they use those early smokes that much, because you want that instant initiation so that the BKB doesn't matter. But if you don't have a smoke, it's so much harder to get those initiations, right? These are
Right.
pro teams. They're going to be nicely positioned with a vision. But so far, I agree. It is definitely anyone's game, but for DR here, kind of missing the spear.
Quite connect, but they are chasing after Tavo, blinking forward here with the dragon form. Does land the stun over into Sexy Fat immediately, though. It's just going to get removed with that aphotic shield. So.
Not sure about this Elder Dragon form usage, because if they don't get anything out of this, okay.
Oh, they missed the spear again. 40R, just a little bit off the mark. Sunray coming out, trying to just keep them up, and they get a beautiful egg over on the back line, so they're not going to be able to try to grab here. Spear over onto Sexy Fat, just bash against the wall. The egg comes off here. Nuages, they still have that Sunder up. KJ will fall, but they'll also be able to get the kill on the side. Costabile is just being controlled, not going to be able to get the Sunder, rather. As the Olacore, you know, is a beautiful setup with that Mars Arena and the egg, but that's going to open the doors for them to walk into Roche because there's no buyback. They've used everything there as well.
30 FPS. Huh.
It feels bad.
Yeah, I think there's I'm not sure if they actually have FPS problems or if they're just messing with SG right now, but what I was going to say is that I think that Elder Dragon form from Tavo was very disingenuous, because you see the Abaddon, right? So if you stun him, you're gonna have to wait 8 seconds until you actually kill him because he has ulti. If you stun Shrek, he's gonna get shielded. So I don't really know why they were forcing that too much, but that's actually this is a free Roshan and 4,000 gold advantage for BINOMISTAS. This is exactly what they wanted for 22 minutes and couldn't get.
Yeah, that felt odd. I think in that case, they probably should have just backed off when they didn't manage to land the stun or get anything off of it, because they just kind of played into their hand otherwise. And now we have the Ethereal Blade finished up for Benny. He's got himself an Aegis. He's feeling real good right now.
Oh, yeah. That's, I mean, I cast the 2 seasons of DPC, and Tavo only played the second one, but that was a criticism that I had. I don't want to sugarcoat it. I think Tavo somehow, he has this idea of how fights should play out, and he actually goes all the way. You know, there's no holding back with Tavo, and I think that sometimes plays against SG. That was a clear example of that, in my opinion. So, you know, it might not actually matter that much, but if it was Secret playing against SG, that could be game losing, because they're not gonna make any mistakes after you do something like that.
Situation where they just don't trust each other enough, because generally, you know, that's something that you get a lot with mid players, right? Mid players that play high tempo heroes, things like Storm, where they just run in with their faces and they trust their team to follow up. Is that a sort of situation here for the side of SG? Is that Tavo, like you said, he's got this idea, but they don't necessarily trust him?
Could be. It was fairly odd, because the Mars had already blinked in, right? So even if SG trusts Mars there, how can they go in if there's no blink on Mars available, right? It's just a really odd play. I'm not really sure what happened there, but
it's just been stubbornness too, just like, oh, I missed it. Whatever, we're just going.
Yeah. Like, we said we were gonna go, so I'm going to.
Yeah. All right. Well, they're gonna walk right into the base now with an Aegis.
SG, I don't know how you defend this. You have Aegis on Benny, super tanky Shrek with Guardian Greaves and Essence Ring. This is very hard to stop.
I mean,
even if they don't take your tower, you're gonna be stuck in your base, and that's not what Terribly wants.
Definitely not. But you do have a blink over on the Mars, so potentially if you can, you know, see them just get a little bit out of position, you could try to punish it that way. I think it's important too that you kind of focus on, Sexy Fat is a problem. Sexy Fat, and actually Nuages too, being able to remove stuns, being able to keep them alive, that's something that they definitely need to address in these fights, in my opinion.
Yeah, I think what you want is to separate the Abaddon. Even if you have to use Arena for it. like only like by itself, the fact that they cannot cancel the stuns anymore could be huge. So we'll see how 4DR actually takes those fights. But right now, I think they should chill, just wait the Aegis out. And then, you know, even if it's a 5 to 8k gold advantage, if you take the right engagements, it shouldn't matter. As long as there is no Aegis, obviously.
Okay, just play it cool over on the side of SG. Put your faith in Costabile. And don't force things, because Lord knows, every time that they forced it. Look at this, channeling up, Mini jumping forward immediately over onto 40R. They just blow him up instantly. So it's a great pickup, a great way to start off this fight. Tabo's here, so is Costabile. Try to use that reflection, try to push them away. The tower is already down. And again, they do have an Aegis over here on this Morphling. They have to be very careful in the way that they approach. Jump forward here, coming up from Tabo. Just going to try to put out a little annoyance, but again, it's Nuages. He doesn't care. Now the field is down. Oh, what a nice hook shot, though, coming in from KJ, but immediately just forcing out over here onto Nuages. They jump in. BKB coming out, though. Can they do enough damage? They managed to take down Theolacor's egg. That's not looking good now for the side of SG as Tabo gets left behind. He is just toast. And they are going to end up losing this Rax here.
All right. I mean, that's great for BINOMISTAS. That's all they could have wished for. I guess Mars. I think SG definitely, and myself included, underestimated the burst damage that they have, right? This is like the second or third time I look at a play, I'm like, is BINOMISTAS actually going for this? And they just explode the target. They have so much magic damage now if they lay 2.
They're definitely playing very tempo as well with this draft, which is exactly what they need to do.
Yeah.
Denny going and grabbing up that regen rune's gonna give him back all that mana. Feels good. And
I mean,
you know,
go on, sorry.
SG is a little bit back against the wall because they need Costabile, and Costabile's been farming just fine, but it's starting to run away now here with BINOMISTAS.
Yeah, and even with that 15k net worth that the Terrorblade has.
Bowie? Ah, I lost him. We're never gonna know the end of that thought, guys. Aegis does get reclaimed while this is going on, so perhaps they can make something happen, but they're able to take down another tower. Stabile approaches briefly here, just throwing down that Conjure image. They continue to put the damage down. Tabo jumping forward with the blink, throws out the Dragon Tail. Not going to be able to do quite enough here to push them back, so. Another creep wave coming on in. You can see Mini getting into position off here on the side. Trying to find that perfect initiation with the blink. He's channeling up the epicenter. He's going the blink forward, followed up with a burrow strike. Can they burst down Costabile? My God, they can. 4DR, he gets several of them over here in this arena, but he just can't do enough damage, especially not without his Terrorblade, not being close enough here. Egg does eventually go off. They'll find the kill over onto Jupiter. Put it back over to Nuages. It's beautiful Cogs. Can they burst down Sexy Fat? Beautiful Egg popping off. They'll get the kill on Sexy Fat. They're chasing after Nuages now, and now Mini, finally, they'll get their hands on that Sand King. But they do end up losing a tower and half a Rax for it.
Oof. Yeah. I mean, I guess that's okay for SG, but I think the damage is done. If they're gonna win this game, it's gonna be out of a lot of I don't want to say mistakes from BINOMISTAS, but like I think this is a game BINOMISTAS should be able to win if they don't make any like huge mistakes. They do have mana though. Let's see what SG is gonna be able to force here. Yes.
Not even gonna bother popping it right now. Sand King down for another 30-something seconds, and a lot of those, the big ulti is down for him. So they'll take this middle tower. Looks like they're gonna make a rotation up towards the triangle. I was very scared, because probably did have to buy back during that as well.
Oh.
He's getting closer and closer to the Scotty. Yeah, that feels a little bad here, but does manage to pick himself up a Paladin sword.
He is actually considering, because he's like, this magic resistance might be the difference maker for me to live, but I'm a carry. I want damage in life still. What do I do?
I don't know. I just feel like it's never a bad time to have another Shaw.
Yeah, it's so good this game, honestly. But okay, he does give up on it for a while.
completed now for Tava. They're smoked up over on the side of BINOMISTAS. They're hoping that they can find something, but they're sitting on the high ground. This is always very, very scary. Try to go in front of kill. That flare might have revealed their positioning. 4DR, positioned very forward here, trying to make sure that he can pop any ganks that are coming in.
Yeah, I really like the position that SG has right now because mid is their only melee barracks that's still up, and they can cut mid and top with the illusions. So we'll see. I guess they actually did leave a wave through, so they might be forced back actually.
They know exactly where BINOMISTAS is though right now. Go for the
Yeah,
scan,
good
they're all
scan.
smoked up. They're not going to be expecting this jump here from the side, so perhaps they can make something happen. Courier flying out. And Mini popping that. The jump forward, though, over onto Sexy Fat, because they blow him up fast enough. They've managed to get the arena off, and they're bursting him down. But 40R, he gets fingered. He gets removed from the equation. Sexy Fat also to fall. Buyback now coming out from Mars. They have to take down the second. They cannot take it down fast enough as Benny just tries to shift off to the side. Jupiter trying to be in position. Doesn't quite manage to go and land that spike. Oh, but that's a beautiful burrow strike coming out from Mini. Miniature Ravage, but they still have their eyes over on Benny. So chasing him down the Icarus dive. They still have their eyes over onto this Morphling. Can they finish him off, though, is the question now. Looks like he's going to be able to teleport on home. Jupiter is going to get left behind, though, and he's going to be a feast for dragons.
Okay. Wow, that was such a good fight by SG. They actually walk up the high ground. The smoke breaks, but the way that they actually saved the hookshot to save the egg from the Morphling was top-notch. I'm really impressed that they were able to actually like take that fight and win it, but they don't get lucky with the Roche timer, and Morphling survives, so it's actually not that big of a deal for BINOMISTAS. In fact, it could actually play against SG because they're gonna have everything up on BINOMISTAS, and they're obviously stronger right now.
Radiant are scanning.
Someone has to go home, though. They have, well, not, never mind. They have the creep spawning up, but
yeah, they're gonna cut the wave here. As long as they can keep cutting the waves, the push not gonna matter that much.
Tavo breaking the smoke over onto Benny. Immediately the BKB comes out. Gonna try to chase after Nuages here. See, Sexy Fat. There it is. There's that arena. They definitely want this distract. Can they blow up fast enough as they follow up with a nice sunray? Just try to keep everybody alive and healthy. Sexy Fat using the Essence Ring? No, not gonna be enough as they pop that ultimate over on the Abaddon. Didn't quite manage to get that, but we'll be able to probably get themselves a kill over onto Theola Core as Benny jumping over onto the high ground. Tava just getting kited over here, trying to climb away, not gonna be able to, it seems, as he's getting chased down over by Nuages. Over here on the side, though, they have their eyes on Mini. They drop the sentry, but Kusabila, he doesn't feel like he wants to fight this because Benny is, of course, going to be joining into the fight. KJ, oh, the burrow strike forward over onto Kusabila. He's got to be very careful. KJ eventually falls. It's a triple kill now for Benny. Buybacks coming out. Theola Core, he wants to be a part of this, and Mini, he might have gone just perhaps a little bit too far here, but of course Benny's going to follow up. Mini falls. No buyback on the Sand King Tavo. The buybacks coming out from the side of SG. They want to punish this. Jupiter's going to fall. Nuage is next to go down as well. No buyback on multiple heroes over here on the side of BINOMISTAS. They got a little overconfident, I think, as they pick themselves up a gem. They've got an Aeon Disc online for the Phoenix, and ta-da! Look who's up and ready to go. It is Roche.
This is crazy, Moxxi. I look at this GM like they are actually trying to take a fight with no egg, no meta, no dragon form. Somehow, I mean, they lose the fight, but somehow BINOMISTAS were so hyped that SG did such an egregious mistake that they end up overextending, and SG gets Roche. This is crazy. I had no words. I think BINOMISTAS, they got carried away because they didn't have to do all of that. They could have just waited Roche, and they would be really happy with the results.
Could have, but they got a little too greedy. They got too, they're feeling themselves, you know?
And now, this is what SG needs. Gold advantage, even, yeah, they're out of 2 lane of barracks, but it's Terrorblade. As long as you have Aegis and Metamorphosis, you can pretty much do anything. You can win against Mega Creeps.
Costly fight, though, for the side of BINOMISTAS. It's a little bit too much of an overextension. So, yeah. SG feeling a little bit more comfortable. It is now a 1k net worth lead for the side of BINOMISTAS. And you can see, if you open up the graph, the difference that they have lost now, which is looking a little depressing for the side of BINOMISTAS. But again, you know, Benny's a pretty big boy here. Perhaps he can make something happen. He's still top of the net worth as well. So they just need to take an intelligent fight. I think. But it's going to be hard when you've got this Terrorblade with an Aegis, with a BKB, with Sunder. But they have chain stunned him before. Can they do it multiple times is the next question. They're smoked up. They know that there's a Sandstorm over here, so they'll throw forward a illusion. And see KJ trying to get into position 2 with the hook shot. Gonna wander around the side. Tavo leading the charge.
That they pinged the smoke on the side of SG, but they had no, like, the only vision that they had was that river ward. I don't think I actually got vision.
I don't like this. This is very sus, if you ask me.
Okay.
Trying to go high ground at night with the smoke, but they find themselves sexy fast, so they're just going to completely remove a beautiful egg up over on that cliffside. Hookshot coming in over onto Nuages. Mini, he's thinking about going in. He's got that epicenter. He's going to jump in. Beautiful miniature rabbits. They blow up KJ. They blow up Tabo. Buybacks coming out. Now Gustabile is just man-fighting everyone. Goes to the Sunderplay over onto Sexy Fat. Can they take him down in time? Can they punish this Leshreck? It's not looking like they're going to be able to, so the Aegis, it will pop. Over there on the side, you can see Adriano is fighting with Jupiter. Can he take him out? It's like they should have maybe just enough damage. Can they get there fast enough, though? His 4DR is just getting blown up. A beautiful Burrow Strike coming out. He's falling. And Gustabile, he's left all alone. What a beautiful play coming out from BINOMISTAS. They turn it back around right at SG, even though they had a lot of advantages here.
I mean, you said it, Moxxi. Very sus. And I have to 100% agree. Oh, they just GG out? Huh.
They did.
Okay. Yeah, this was a very weird game. I think SG, they were in a really good spot, but they just forced things a little too much. Then, BINOMISTAS decided to do the same thing, but obviously they were already in a solidified spot, right? They already took 2 lanes of barracks. So they can afford to make those mistakes, and SG couldn't. So I'm just happy we're going to game 3. I'm not sure I'm convinced with the mid-10 king, but I'm just happy we had 3 games.
Yeah, no, a very impressive game coming out from SG. I know from BINOMISTAS, because, we were looking at what they had on there, and we're a little concerned, We saw a lot of these heroes that are very comfortable, I guess, with the side of SG. We saw how the draft came together, and I guess we did it, Bowie. I guess we cursed them. All 3 of us. We're going to include Zayuri in that, too. But yeah, we're going to go to a game 3, some late night Dota for a lot of y'all. So yeah, we're going to take a quick break. And when we come back, we will talk about game number 2.